Alright, so we found the right spot for our AFK platform, and if we fly down here, you can actually see that our farm is filled with creepers already, and you can see how they run to the edge. They're running away from the cats. What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode, and we are flying over the ocean today because today we are going to work on a creeper farm. So we are going to need a lot of things for this, mainly tinted glass and a lot of trapdoors actually. So lucky enough, since we are over the ocean here, there are these two geodes. So we're going to come in here, mine these out, mine out the amethyst. Hopefully most of it is grown. It actually doesn't look like much of it has been grown at all. So is there a creeper? I think there was a creeper in here. Alright, anyways, it doesn't look like much of it has grown actually at all. So that is pretty unfortunate because we are going to need a lot of amethyst shards. But I don't have my fortune pickaxe, so we are going to have to go back to the house and grab that. And then we'll start going geode exploring. Okay, so we got our fortune pickaxe, and now we can mine the couple of shards here that are fully grown. There isn't very many, so we're just going to mine the ones that we can. And I think that's it. Only 3 of them. Oh wait, maybe this one. I think this is a 4th one. So we got 40 from that. Not too bad. That's why you always want to use a fortune pickaxe when you mine out these things. That way you can get more than just a couple shards, but this is definitely not going to be enough, because if we take a look at this materials list, it says we're going to need 812 tinted glass, which is quite a lot. Maybe I'll start building the farm here by these amethyst geodes in the ocean while we wait for the shards to actually grow. We could optimize it a little bit, but while we're out here, of course it's raining, let me show you guys where we're going to build this farm. We're going to build it here in this little area because the best place to build a creeper farm is actually, if you have the time and you have the patience, if you build a perimeter and put it as low in the world as you can, that's always going to be the best. But this is the next best option here right above the ocean, because the lower a farm is, the more things that'll spawn. So if you build it about right here, this is as low as it can be without actually being underwater, and there's no land around for any other mobs to spawn. So if we design the farm to only be able to spawn creepers, and we stand AFK way up there in the sky, and then we just farm tons of gunpowder right here in the ocean. But let's go ahead and disassemble this geode, open up some of these blocks here that can grow these shards, and be able to produce way more amethyst. Alright everyone, so we spent some time mining out both of these geodes here. So this is the first one. Then if we fly up out of here over to this one, you can see the same thing has been done. So this should get us way more amethyst now. Alright guys, so in the meantime, while we're waiting for our amethyst shards to continue growing, because we are going to need this much, we need a stack in each of these spots, we're going to start collecting blocks for the rest of the farm. So I think I'm just going to go with quartz. We should be able to buy them from our villagers pretty easy. And we're gonna need tons of trapdoors. Those are the 2 biggest things we need. So if we just go start chopping down spruce trees and buying from our villagers, we should be able to get quite enough. But let's head over here to our villager hall and check out our masons, because we need to upgrade all these guys, and none of them are upgraded. So I'm gonna spend a little time upgrading these guys so we can buy quartz from them. Okay guys, so if you take a little look here, all of our masons are now masters. They all want to turn around for some reason, but they all have the little diamond badge just like our toolsmiths over here. You can also see the random pile of blocks and things here that I had to trade, and we almost went through a whole stack of iron blocks just to get everything. We also got this little arrow. This was for trading 2,500 times already. So you know, we have traded with these guys quite a lot, but now we have the quartz trade unlocked. And now the other thing we got to start doing is mining out all these trees here so we can get enough wood for enough trapdoors. But I will say, when I was trying to upgrade those villagers over there, it was a lot easier with our upgraded gear, because mining out all those blocks was much faster than just with a basic iron pick. So we should have gotten upgraded gear a long time ago. It's probably also going to speed this up quite considerably. But I'm going to go ahead and collect all this wood, and then I will be back once I have gathered enough, hopefully. Alright guys, and we are back. So now we have everything that we need for our farm. It's here in these 2 shulker boxes, except for the tinted glass, but that's gonna come last. But yeah, this is everything we need. It's actually a pretty light farm. There isn't too many blocks, too much variety to it. But now let's head over to the ocean and start constructing up our farm, because it is gonna take quite a while to build. We're gonna do this in the form of time lapse, and I will see you guys afterwards. Alright guys, so we have the bulk of the farm built here. You can see each individual layer, and we just have to finish up this one layer. Now the way this farm works, if you have never seen it before, is obviously we have each floor for more spawning, and then we have these trap doors on the bottom of each floor to actually lower the available height on each block. So Minecraft mob, most of them are 2 blocks tall, like zombies and skeletons. Creepers are actually a little bit shorter, so they can spawn in this little bit shorter area, and then spiders can also spawn in here. So what we do to prevent all that, we lower the vertical spawning area so zombies and skeletons can no longer spawn, and then we place carpets on here as spawn proofing so spiders can't spawn. So a spider needs a 3x3 area to spawn in, and if you place carpets in a little pattern to where there's no 3x3 areas, there's going to be no spiders in this farm at all. So after we do all these spawn proofing things, there's only going to be creepers spawning in our farm here. And then there's a mechanic in the game where creepers are actually scared of cats. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take some cats and put them in the middle of these trapdoors here on each floor. So then what that's going to do is it's going to scare the creepers to the edge of the farm here, and then they're going to walk off onto these magma blocks here where they're going to burn, and then the hopper minecarts will pick up the gunpowder underneath. So with this last row finished here, this farm is now almost all done. We just need the tinted glass to make it dark enough in here so creepers will always be spawning, and then we need our cats in here. But the first thing we gotta do is we have to tame 5 cats. So I'm gonna swim here through the ocean, killing some fish. That way we can get plenty to tame these guys, and for some reason I can't hit the fish to save my life. Alright guys, so we made it here with our 5 cats. I ended up having to breed a couple just because none were spawning. Now what I'm hoping will happen though is when I fly over here, I'm hoping the cats are just going to teleport. I hope it's close enough. I also need to make sure I land right on the floor I want the cat, just in case. Perfect. Okay, that is amazing. So now what we need to do is just make him take a seat and then push him in. And this is now his forever home. So now let's go ahead and get the rest of the cats in. Alright, and just like that, we now have our cats here in each spot on each floor. Normally it's not this easy because normally the farm isn't this close to land, so the cats usually can't just teleport to each floor. Before in the past I had to actually bring them through the nether and walk them up some stairs up to each floor, so that was definitely a pain. But now that we have all the cats in, the last thing to do is just go grab our amethyst shards and then make our tinted glass, and we just cover up the farm, and then we should be all good to start getting some gunpowder. Okay, so we have all our tinted glass now and our trapdoors. So what we're gonna have to do is, while we're building this, we're just gonna use some scaffolding as a temporary block. And once we get to each layer of trapdoors, just like this, we're actually gonna have to take another layer and put them along here, along the tinted glass. That way the creepers will think this is an entire open gap here, and then they'll walk right in. But yeah, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and finish up the farm here, and then I will see you guys when we are all finished. Alright guys, so now if we take a look here, you can see that the farm is all closed in, and then if we turn on our little light level overlay here, you can actually see that even in the daytime everything is at 0, so that means that mobs can spawn in here at any time during the day. And if we actually look down here, there is a little bit of gunpowder here already, so that shows that creepers are spawning on here and it is working. So now to make sure we can actually collect everything, we're gonna go ahead and take our hopper minecarts and throw them down here on the track. 3, 4, and then if we just give them a little nudge, oh maybe not, just like that, and our farm should begin working now. I want to make sure they're all going the same way. Okay, perfect. So now we have our little collectors here. We got 2 gunpowder. Let's go. 2 heaping gunpowder. We're off to a fantastic start. So now, of course, the last thing that we have to do is, anyone who's familiar with a mob farm knows what we're going to do here, but we actually have to build a platform up in the air, 128 blocks up. That way, when we're standing up there, the only thing that's going to be in our little spawning area is going to be this farm right here. So it's going to cancel out everything underneath here, and all the mob spawns are just going to be centered in our farm here. So this is going to help increase our rates. The other thing is, I don't know how true this is, but you don't want to build your little AFK platform above the farm here. Somehow it lowers the rates. So we're just going to build it off in this corner right here, and then we'll do a a little spawning sphere render to kind of show you guys how it works. But yeah, so we're gonna build up with these 2 stacks of scaffolding. This will be exactly 128 blocks, and then we'll figure out where our platform has to go. Okay, so now that we're up here at the top of our farm, first we're going to turn on our mini HUD render in the corner. It's going to be a little distracting, but then if we go in here and we turn on our despawn sphere, here we add the shape and turn it on, you can actually see in this circle here is every spot where mobs can spawn. Anything outside of this is going to automatically despawn. So what we want to do is move down far enough to where this very bottom layer right here is at the bottom of our farm. And if that's the case, then everything in the farm here is never going to despawn, but also everything underneath here will despawn no matter what. So everything is just going to be here in our farm. And from the looks of it, our spawning sphere is actually outside of our farm here. So we got to come down a few blocks to make sure our farm is fully enclosed by the sphere. All right, so we found the right spot for our AFK platform. And if we fly down here, you can actually see that our farm is filled with creepers already. And you can see how they run to the edge. They're running away from the cats. It is a little inefficient. Sometimes they get stuck here on the corners and other creepers will push them off, but eventually they'll find their way down here. You can make it a little more efficient if you connect these corners. That might help it out a little bit. But if we look at where our despawn sphere is, it actually ends right here at the water level. So anything underneath our farm here will automatically despawn, and that means all of our spawns are focused here in the creeper farm. So now what we have to do is, since we found the spot where this has to be built, we can go ahead and replace this block with glass and just build a little 3x3 platform on here, and then throw some slabs up here on top so we don't have any phantom spawning. All right, so we have our little AFK platform. This is all you really need, and then all we have to do is stand up here and wait while our farm produces gunpowder. You can see there's creepers in there. They will make their way down. It is a little inefficient, but it is a creeper farm at the end of the day, and it always works out good for me. It always ends up getting enough gunpowder that I need. But yeah, so this is our gunpowder farm all finished. So with our farm now all finished, the last thing we're going to do is, of course, light our nether portal so we can get fast access to and from our base, even though it is right there. So let's go ahead and walk through, see where this puts us. It looks like we are actually very close to our home nether portal, I think. Yes, here's our home nether portal. Here's the new nether portal. But the one thing we are going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and break this nether portal. And we're actually going to use this obsidian because the last thing that I want to do today is finally get onto the nether roof. So we're going to go ahead and mine up and find a good spot to actually access the nether roof, because that way it's going to make traveling to and from things way easier, and also we can build more farms up there, which is what I ideally want to do. Okay, cool, we're already up here at the nether roof. Now we just need to find a spot that goes up high enough. So if we have a little look around here, we go ahead and pull out our F3. We are looking for, I believe, 127. So I think right here, yes, there is only one block of space here. So this is exactly what we're looking for. So now, of course, before we go onto the nether roof, we want to make sure we have the proper materials, which is pretty much just a flint and steel and enough obsidian to make a portal. Okay, so now that we have all our materials, let's go ahead and head back up. We won't be able to access the nether for a little bit until I get some materials to actually break out of the nether roof. But what we have to do is just go ahead like this, take some, actually, I can't remember if we need a block here or not. We'll put a block anyways. And then take an ender pearl and just throw it on the ladder. Oh, not in the bedrock. Hop up, and there we go. We are now on the nether roof. So now if we just take our obsidian, place 2 here. I like to place stone for our home nether portal. Build up 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 more stone. And then we go ahead and light our nether portal, hop in, and we should arrive home. Hopefully in 3, 2, 1, perfect, we're home. So now we have a nether portal linked to the nether roof. All right, perfect. And of course, and this is gonna make it way easier to travel and this is gonna make it way easier to travel and get to places we need to go. So now the next part is we have to actually break the obsidian. So it is a little complicated, it is a little precise, so I'm gonna get some resources so we can go ahead and do that, and then hopefully we can break a hole in the bedrock. Okay, so we're back in the nether and we have some supplies, so I'm gonna put this over here so that way nothing happens to it, and then we're gonna grab some of the stuff that we need right away. So the design that I like to use, it's actually better for mining like straight down. It's a more kind of like upright design, that way you don't have to have like this weird wonky setup that stretches really long, and you can actually pretty much just mine down wherever you feel like it, because it's just this 2x2 setup, and it's actually way easier than a lot of other setups. And then you can mine down in a little square here and make it nice and neat. So the way you do this is, it's just a block glitch. I don't really know how it works, but what you have to do is kind of spam click onto where the piston is, and you want it to face up after it explodes. The easiest way to do that is to change your right click keybind to actually a button on your keyboard, so that way when you're clicking, it's actually spam clicking it, and it's more likely to work rather than if you're clicking with your mouse. So what we do is we just hit the lever, close the trapdoor, and then we just spam on this spot right here, and it should have worked, because you see how the piston is facing upwards. So if we mine this, sure enough, the bedrock below is broken, and now we can move to the next spot. So if we do the same thing again, flip the trapdoor and hold our button right here, sure enough, our second piece of bedrock broke. But yeah, so that's how we do this. I'm going to go ahead and keep mining down in this little block here, then eventually we'll have a hole here in the bedrock, and then I will show you guys when we're all finished. Well guys, a little bit unfortunate here. We went through all our TNT and a little bit of gunpowder we had already, and we only managed to break 2 pieces of bedrock. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of AFKing at our gunpowder farm. That way we can get enough TNT, and then hopefully we can actually break through the bedrock here. But in the meantime, we're gonna give it a break. I'll probably just do this in between episodes and then show you guys afterwards. But that is gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you did enjoy this episode and enjoy building this creeper farm with me. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and consider subscribing if you're not already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great one, everyone.